Kellyanne Conway joins me now. And Kellyanne, good morning to you. Size it up. What did last night tell you today?
We learned so much heading into the fall last night, Bill, not least of which is, the Republican nominee for governor in Kansas and the Republican nominee for Senate in Missouri are both the sitting attorneys general. This is important because crime and safety will continue to be big issues to voters right, left, and center. They see the rise in crime in their cities. They see the fentanyl pouring over the border, and they want somebody as a chief executive or representing them in Washington who's going to, of course, meet the challenge. The other thing that's going on is in Michigan and in Kansas, and of course in Arizona, regardless of which woman emerges as the nominee there, we see this continuing trend, Bill, of candidates of color and female candidates running and winning as Republicans. In Michigan, you have John Gibbs, my former colleague in the administration. He served in the opioids cabinet. Then I ran, a great member of our administration, African-American man, beating Pete Meyer, that freshman. You have over in Michigan 10, John James, African-American man, woman. You have Amanda Atkins in Kansas 3 as our nominee now. And you'll have a female Republican nominee as governor. Why is this important? Well, it's important for a few reasons. In 2020, even though Joe Biden became the president, you had no Republican incumbent losing his or her seat. And of the 15 blue to red changes in the House bill, 11 were taken by women, and all 15 were taken by a candidate of color, a female, a veteran, or some combination thereof. So that continues. Last point. We also see this continuing trend starting from 2016, where Hillary Clinton won the Hispanic vote by 38 points. In 2020, Joe Biden won by 21 points. It's a 17-point decrease. Now, the Democrats, if you look at all the polling in these primaries so far, they only lead by about 12 or 13%. And it's not just that Republicans continue to win Hispanic voters, it's that we are winning with Hispanic candidates like Maya Flores last month in the Rio Grande rally. But that is a huge trend going in. A last point about Pete Meyer. He's whining a little bit about the corrosiveness of Washington. He's a freshman member. Yes, he was one of the 10 who voted to impeach President Trump, but he also voted for the infrastructure bill. He also voted for the gun control bill. He also voted to approve of the January 6th committee formation. So here's someone who kept sticking his finger in the eye of many of his constituents who put him there. He won a Republican primary and then won the seat as a conservative Republican, as an America First Republican, and then didn't vote that way.
Oh, 3 of the 10 are still alive, of those House Republicans who voted to impeach. In Kansas, referendum on abortion. Here's what we found, Kellyanne. Surprised a lot of people. Kansas voters overwhelmingly vote to protect abortion rights in their constitution. 60% say no. What does that tell you coming on the heels of Roe v. Wade and the U.S. Supreme Court, and maybe what it portends for other states who might be doing something similar?
Two things, Bill. First, this is exactly what the Dobbs decision designed the next steps to be, which is kick it back to the states, let the people decide. In Kansas, they spoke very loudly last night based on the language of that particular initiative that was before them. Secondly, it may be too soon. Emotions are raw. Confusion is deep. You see that Planned Parenthood, I read last week, had a 40-fold increase in donations right after the Dobbs decision. So people are concerned that we've gone from all abortion, anyone, anytime, anywhere, essentially under Roe, to nothing in some of these states. So it may be a little too soon for that. I would point out to you, everybody, including on other networks, of course, lower-rated networks, love to say today, oh, Kansas is a conservative state, it's a red state. Look, that's true, and it's not so true. I don't really like when we talk about states that way, but in this case, they have a female pro-choice Democratic governor. She's up for re-election this year. She won last time, Laura Kelly, with less than 50% of the vote, but she is the governor there. And I think when we just look at one state as red or blue, pro-life or pro-choice, we're not really respecting the diversity of opinion, let alone the population in these different states. But it may be just a little too soon for some voters to be going to the ballot box and saying no to abortion.
Wow, some snap analysis as of this morning. Thank you, Kellyanne. Good to have you on today. We'll see how this all plays out very soon. Nice to see you, Kellyanne Conway.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.